Our review today, what shape is this, Alex?
A pyramid.
It's a pyramid. So remember, pyramids come up to a point. So our pyramid surface area formula is B plus 1/2 PL. Okay, so B stands for area of the base. How do I find the area of that base? It's going to be base times height. So Alex, that's going to be 6 times 6. What is 6 times 6? 36 yards squared. We have our perimeter. Our perimeter is going to be 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. So that's going to be 6. Well, I just said it. So what's that going to add up to? 24. And then what is your slant height in that photo? It's going to be 5. Nice job. Okay, so now we're going to substitute them in. I'm going to switch my color so we can see it a little bit better. We have area of the base, which is 36 yards squared plus 1/2. My perimeter, which is 24 yards, times my slant height of 5 yards. Okay, so you know that I like to break it up, but you can put it in your calculator just as is. 1/2 times 12 times 5. I always do half of 24, which is going to be 12. 12 times 5 is 60. So, Alex, we have that being 60. What is going to be 36 plus 60? 96? 96 yards squared. So this is a nice reminder, blast from the past, last time we did this. Remember that the total surface area is that whole formula. Can anybody tell me which part is the lateral surface area? Yep. It's the second half. It's this part right here. So that second half is the math we did right here. It's that 60 yards squared. Okay. Okay, next one up. Let's go up to Gabby. Okay, Gabby, what shape is this? It's a prism. So prism surface area is due to 2B plus PH. So what is our base in this shape?
8.
So it's going to be 8 times
2.
So it's what's this length here? You're just looking at the wrong part. So we're looking at the area of that base. You just jumped to the other part. So it's 18. Oh, it's 8 times.
18.
Man, gave that one up. Okay, so what is 8 times 18? 144. So we have 144 inches squared. And then we have our perimeter, which is going to be 18 plus 8 plus 18 plus 8. So what is 18 plus 8 plus 18 plus 8? 52. And then your height is? 3. So now we go over here, we substitute them in. We have 2 times 144 inches squared plus P, which is 52 inches squared, times our height of 3 inches squared. Oh, nope, 3 inches. I added too many squares, guys. Apologize. Okay, there we go. So I added too many squares. So what is 52 times 3, Gabby? 156. Okay, inches squared. So now we have 288 inches squared plus 156 inches squared. 288 plus 156.
What?
You're going to add those two numbers together.
288
Plus 156. 444 inches squared. So again, this is your total surface area. And then, Gabby, what is our lateral area? It's going to be that second half, which is 156 inches squared. Okay, so 2 problems down. Do you need a second to complete these? Okay. What shape is that?
Man, that's a circle. I mean cylinder.
It's a cylinder. So I go over here and I look at my formula for a cylinder.
2 pi r squared.
Oh, you read it to me. Okay, thank you.
2 pi r.
2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. Okay, so what is your radius in this?
Hold on.
So your whole diameter is what? 10. So your radius is 5. What's your height?
7.
7. So now we just substitute in. So you have 2 pi, and then you put your radius in, which is 5 squared, plus 2 pi, radius of 5, times my height of 7. Okay, so 5 squared is 25 times 2? So you have 50 pi meters squared. And then over here you have 2 times 5, which is?
What'd you say?
2 times 5?
10.
10 times 7?
70.
So you have 70 pi meters squared. 50 plus 70. 100 and
12. What?
120
20.
meters pi meters squared. Okay, so Mario, in your calculator, you're going to put 120 times pi.
She don't got no pie on here.
They do.
376. Do we round up?
If it's a 0.5 or above, you round up.
377.
377
Meters squared.
meters squared. To find the lateral area, it's the second half, so it's 70 times pi. What is 70 times pi? 220
Meters squared.
meters squared. So remember, this is area, so it's all squared, not cubed. Volume is cubed.
So the first half is SA, second is L.
Yep. No, first half is, you have to add it with the second half to find SA. Whole thing added together is surface area.
Then the second.
That second half alone,
Is that there?
yeah. The first half of the whole formula is top and bottom area. So base in the ceiling.
No, I ain't know that on that first quiz, so can I retake it?
No.
Nah.
Okay, so we're coming over here to Malik. Malik, what shape is this?
Sphere.
It's a sphere, so our formula here is 4 pi r squared. What is your radius?
6. No, not 6.
You've got this.
9.
It's 9. 9 feet. So now we're going to substitute that in. We get 4 pi 9 feet squared. 9 squared is
9 squared is
81
81.
times 4.
Times 4. 324.
324 times pi.
That is, hold up. You said 324 times.
Times pi, yep.
That is 1017.
1017, like 1017.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's the point, what?
8.
0.8, so we'll round up. So 17, so let's change that to an 8. And then over here, we're going to put it into feet squared. Okay? I'm going to pause.
A cone.
So this is a cone. My cone formula is pi r squared plus pi rl. Ooh, you have a fun problem.
Oh, it's not.
So what is your radius?
What is it, 8?
It's 8. Okay, so this is where you have to do something else. So we need to find our slant height. How did you find that slant height, that purple line I just drew in there? Pythagorean Theorem, you've got this. So that's L squared equals 6 squared plus 8 squared. What is 6 squared? 6 times 6 is?
36.
8 times 8 is?
64.
36 plus 64.
100.
So 100, square root of 100 is?
Oh, that's right. 10.
It's going to be 10. So we have our slant height of 10. So now we can substitute in. You have pi, radius of 8 inches squared, plus pi, radius of 8 inches, times my slant height of 10 inches. So 8 times 8 is?
64.
So we have 64 pi inches squared, plus what's 8 times 10?
8 times
80 pi inches squared. 64 plus 80. 144 pi inches squared. So your first step is do 144 times pi.
452.
452. So this comes down here. It goes 452 inches squared. And then the second half is your lateral area. So it's going to be 80 times pi. What's 80 times pi?
251.
251 inches squared. Okay, so I'll give you a second to write that down.
I'll just get a drink then. Oh, Michigan, I'm never actually putting that. Triangular prism.
It's a triangular prism, so we have to use the prism surface area formula, which is the 2b plus ph. So area of the base. So for our sake of being able to show this, I'm going to bring that 10 up. So remember that they're the same right here. So that's going to be 10 meters for this length as well.
Yeah.
So how do you find the area of a triangle?
Don't you just do base times height times r divided by 2?
Divided by 2 is 1/2 base times height. So what we have here is what is our base and our height of this figure?
Would the base be 8?
Okay,
And then the height would be 6.
exactly right. Divided by 2. So I always do 2, 8 goes into 2, or 2 goes into 8 how many times?
4.
4 times 6. 24 meters squared. Okay, and then perimeter. Perimeter is going to be the 6 plus 8 plus 10. What is 6 plus 8 plus 10?
24 as well.
24. What's your height?
9.
9. Okay. So now we get to substitute it in. You have 2 times 24 meters squared plus your perimeter of 24 meters times your height of 9 meters. So what is 2 times 24? I can do that one for you. If you want to do 24 times 9, I'll do that.
Alright. 24 times 9 is 216.
216. So we have 216 here. Okay, so 48 plus 216.
264.
264 meters squared. And then which part's your lateral area?
It's on the right, so it's be 216.
Yep, it's going to be the 216. So your lateral area becomes that 216. So we're now doing volume. So seeing that it says the nearest whole number tells you you're not leaving it in terms of pi. So we're going back up here. Alicia, you ready? So what shape is this? It's exactly right. So we go over here to volume of a prism. And so that's going to be B times H. So that's area of our base. So how do you find the area of a triangle?
Base times height divided by 2.
Yep, base times height divided by 2. So in this formula, what's our base and our height?
Is for the base
That works for me. Height is?
5.
Yep, divided by 2. So how many times does 2 go into 4?
2 times
2 times 5 is?
10.
So you end up with 10 meters squared. And what is the height of your figure?
3.
3. So now we got up here, we have 10 meters squared times 3 meters. What's 3 times 10? 30 meters cubed. So now that you're on volume, the exponent is going to be a 3. Okay, Brandon. What shape is this?
Cone.
It's a cone. So I've got to go over here. My cone formula is 1/3 pi r squared h. So what is your radius in this problem? 5, because it's half the diameter. And then my height is,
12.
yep, so we come over here. We have 1/3 pi radius of 5 inches squared times my height of 12 inches. So 5 times 5 is?
25.
So I end up with 1/3 times 25 times 12 pi inches. Inches is what we're at. Inches cubed. How many times does 3 go into 12?
4 times.
4. What's 4 times 25?
100.
100 times pi. What's 100 times pi?
314.
314 inches cubed. Okay, next one up. Raya, you ready?
No.
Okay, you want me to give you a second? Okay, I'll let you finish writing that one. So Raya, what shape is this? So it's a prism. So our prism has a volume formula of BH. So what is the area of my base? 4 squared. So 4 squared is 16 yards squared. What's your height? 6 yards. So we have 16 yards squared times 6 yards. What's 16 times 6? What is it? 96? 96 yards cubed. Okay, Jeremy, what shape is this? It's a cone.
Yeah.
So we have a cone, which volume formula is 1/3 pi r squared h. What is your radius?
8, 9.
It's 9. Okay, so this one's a fun problem. So which question or which part do you have in this? What is this length here? What symbol represents that?
Height.
So that represents your slant height. But we're interested in this distance right here. How do we find that distance? You gotta use the Pythagorean Theorem. So remember, the biggest side, the side opposite of this right angle, is your hypotenuse. That's the c squared. So we have 15 squared plus, 15 squared equals 9 squared plus b squared. 15 squared is what amount? 225. 9 squared, Jeremy? 81. We gotta subtract 81 to the other side. What's 225 minus 81? This is all you, bud.
225.
Minus 81.
He's getting a call right now.
My dad calling me and I don't know what.
Lanaya told us that the answer is 144 equals b squared. We're going to square root both sides. What's the square root of 144? 12. Okay, so we have that being 12. So that is now the height that we were looking for, this h. So we now have 1/3 pi, my radius of 9 centimeters squared, bless you, times 12 centimeters. So 9 squared is, so we have 1/3 times 81 times 12 pi centimeters cubed. So I took a 3 out of my 12, which left me with 4. So then I did 4 times 81. 324, you said?
Oh, what did you say?
What is 4 times 81?
Oh,
324. Okay, so we have 324 pi centimeters cubed. So, Lanaya, what's 324 times pi?
I put all the stuff in the calculator.
Yep, 324 times pi, yep.
I got it. Wait. 1017.
1017? Like that? Blase asked, what shape is that? Okay, and then what is our formula for that?
4/3 pi r cubed.
Okay, so we're going to do 4/3 pi. My radius is?
6.
Okay, what is 6 cubed? So it's 216. So 4/3 times 216 pi inches cubed. And then do you want to just tell us what you got for your final answer? When you put all,
Final?
yep, when you did all that in your calculator, what did you get?
904 inches cubed.
904 inches cubed.
I'm going to lunch.
Tell me, what shape is this? It's a pyramid. So our pyramid has 1/3. Hold on, I lost it. Pyramid at BH. So area of my base. What's my area of my base?
24.
So what's the area of your base? 6 times?
6 squared.
Yep, which is? 6. 6 times 6 is?
36.
Okay, and what is your height?
9.
Okay, so I see why you guys didn't want this to happen. Okay. Be nice. Okay, so we're going to take 1/3. We're going to divide. 3 goes into 9 3 times. What is 3 times 36?
108.
108. So we get 108 meters squared. Got a different answer? Oh, we have 2 figures here. What are the figures? What type of shape are they? They're prisms. So we need the 2b. Be careful, hon. 2b plus ph. Oops, that's not the one I need. I need the volume formula. The volume formula is b times h. Okay, so let's do the small one right here first. We know this is a distance of 12, and this is a distance of 4. So our area of our base is going to be 12 feet times 4 feet, which is? So that gives us 48. Okay, and then we have a height there of? Yep, 4. So our volume of our first figure is going to be 48 feet squared times 4 feet. What is it? Can you say it one more time? 192. Okay, so that's our first part. Our second part, all these should be cubed. That should be squared. Okay, so let's go back, Jenkins. There we go. That should be the cubed one. Okay, so down here, you now have the area of the base. It has the 4, and it has the same depth, even though you can't see it because they're butted up right next to each other. So your base is going to be 4 times 4, which is? Yep. So that gives us 16 feet squared. What's your height? 20. Yep. So now we do the same thing here. 20 feet. So you have to do your B times H, which is 16 feet times 20 feet. What is 16 times 20? 320 feet squared. So for the total volume, we have to add those together. So you get 320 plus 192.
It's 512.
512?
I wasn't looking at it.
Okay, so we're now to Reggie. Reggie, what shape is this? What shape is this?
Which one?
Number 14, the one we haven't done yet.
Hemisphere?
It's a hemisphere, so we find the volume of a sphere and we divide it in half.
I was going to say that.
So, volume of your sphere. So that's 3 over 3 pi r cubed. So, what is our r? It's the radius. What's your radius in this photo?
1.
So we have 1 feet. What's 1 cubed?
1.
It's going to be 1. 1 times anything is?
1. Wait.
So 1 times 4 over 3 is?
3.
4 over 3, right? So it's 4 over 3 pi feet cubed. So Reggie, put it in your calculator. 4 times pi divided by 3.
4 times pi divided by 3.
Which is?
Give me something stupid. 240? I don't know. Oh.
So it is approximately 4 feet. So that's for the whole sphere. How do we find the hemisphere? So that leaves me with 2 feet cubed.
It's not my fault.
How many faces does this figure have? 6? Okay, I'm going to count the edges with you. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 12. And then what did you name this figure? So I accept 2 names. I like cube. The only other one I'd accept is rectangular prism. Okay, so now we're at Lanaya. Lanaya, you want to name this figure first?
What is this?
So what's the base?
This a pyramid.
It's a pyramid, and what shape's the base?
A triangle.
So what do we call it?
A triangular prism.
Yep, it's a triangular pyramid.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you had it. You said it right.
I said prism.
Oh, I thought you said pyramid.
That's 3.
Okay, how many faces does it have?
It has 4.
It has 4 faces, and let's count our edges. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 edges. Okay, next Bree, you ready? What do we call this shape?
A triangular prism.
You're close. So what? It comes up to the top.
Oh.
You just flip them. So it's a what?
Huh?
So it comes up to the top, and it forms a. So it means it's a pyramid. And what shape is the base? So it's a rectangular. It's a rectangular pyramid. Nice
Okay.
assist.
And I think it's 5 faces.
So we have 5 faces, the 4 sides and the base. 5 faces, and let's count the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now let's go to Alex. Alex, how many sides does that base have?
15.
Just the sides of just the base. That's 5. What do we call a 5-sided object? What is that shape called? Yep, so what type of shape is this? A pentagonal? Is it a prism or a pyramid?
Oh, prism.
It's a prism, yep. So how many sides does this have? This one's a little trickier.
7.
Yep, the 5 sides and the base and the top, so it's 7 faces. And then How many edges? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Now you want to come up.
What shape is this? Yep, it's a rectangular prism. And right now we are finding lateral and total surface area again. So we go back to that formula, 2b plus ph. So area of my base, so our base is a rectangle, which is going to be base times height. What are those two sides going to be?
5 and 10.
5 and 10? What's 5 times 10?
50.
Yep, so we end up with, I started writing it there. Give me 1 second. So we end up with 50 feet squared. Okay, what is your perimeter? It's going to be 10 plus 5 plus 10 plus 5, which is?
That's 15 plus 15.
Yep,
30.
30 feet. So we're now going to substitute that in. You have 2 times 50
What did you just do?
feet. We just calculate our perimeter.
It looked like 2 T's. Oh, yeah. It looked like an H or 2 T's.
Okay, there we go. Does that help?
It's like an 8.
Okay, I'll fix it. There we go. Feet. Okay, so up here we have 2 times 50 plus 30 times what's my height? So we have 1. Okay, ladies. So 2 times 50 is 100. So we have feet squared plus 30 times 1, which is 30 feet. So your total is 130 feet squared. What is your lateral area?
The second part.
Second part, which is
30.
30 feet squared. Nice job. Okay. So it's a prism, but what shape's the base? So it's a triangular prism. So we need the 2b plus ph. So your base is this shape right here. How do you find the area of a triangle? Base times height divided by 2. So base here is 3. I covered over my height, so you're going to have to look on yours. So 3. So I can't see it. What did it say? 4. So times 4 and divided by 2. So what's 2 divided, or how many times is 2 going to 4? 2 times. 2 times 3 is?
6.
So we have 6 centimeters here, squared. So what's our perimeter of that base? The perimeter is going to be 4 plus 3 plus 5. 4 plus 3 plus 5.
Wait, how?
So we're adding up this side here, which is the 4, this side is 3, and then the 5 is our hypotenuse. It's 12. So now we go up here. You have 2 times 6 plus 12 times my height of, what's my height here? 5. Okay, so 2 times 6 is 12 centimeters squared plus 12 times 5. 60 centimeters squared. Okay, so we add those together. What do you get? I'll take her answer. It's 72 centimeters squared.
Shut up.
What is your lateral area? 60. So we end up with a 60 centimeters squared. Okay. We have what shape? Malik, what shape is this? Okay, so we have a cylinder. Surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. You have all the things you need. What is your radius? 6 feet squared plus 2 pi 6 feet times the height of. So, Malik, what is 6 squared?
36.
36 times 2.
72.
So we end up with 72 pi feet squared plus, and then we have, you can do this 2 ways. You can do 6 times 2, which is
12.
times 7.
72.
You want to double check that real quick?
You said 12 times 3.
Yeah, 84. Okay, pi feet squared. Sorry, I forgot the pi. So we have pi feet squared. What is 84 plus 72?
84 plus 72. 156.
156? Okay, so what's 156 times pi?
That would be 490.
490 feet squared. Okay, and then over here we have to do 84 times pi.
84 times 5. That is 260.
260. Like this? 264 feet squared. Okay, nice job. Okay, Dylan, we have time for yours. Okay, so our I'll pause. Okay, so our next shape here is going to be a rectangular pyramid, which means for surface area, I need the pyramid formula, which is B plus 1/2 PL. So area of my base equals 5 inches times 5 inches, which gives me 25 inches squared. Then I have my perimeter, which is going to be 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which is 20 inches. And then I have my lateral height, or my slant height, which is going to be 8 inches. So now I substitute all these in, which gives me 25 inches squared plus 1/2 perimeter of 20 inches times 8 inches. We see here that 2 goes into 20 10 times. 10 times 8 is 80 inches squared plus 25 inches squared. We add both those up together. My total surface area is 105 inches squared. Remember that your lateral area is the second half of your equation, which means that it's the 80. So that gives me 80 inches squared. So next up we have a cone surface area. So surface area of a cone is pi r squared plus pi r, let's try that again, pi r L. So over here we now want to find our slant height. It's already given, so I don't even have to do that. So my radius is 3, my slant height is 6. So we put this in, we have pi r of 3 inches squared plus pi r 3 inches times my slant height of 6 inches. So 3 squared is 9 pi inches squared, plus we end up with 3 times 6, which is going to be 18 pi inches squared. We add those together and you get 27 pi inches squared, but it asks for those in terms of decimals and the rounding to the nearest whole number. So if you do 27 times pi, it gives you 84.8. 27 times pi gives you 84.8, so that's going to be 85 inches squared. Then the lateral area again is that second half right here. So 18 times pi, that gives you 57 inches squared. It was really 56.5 and I rounded up. Your next one is a cylinder. Your cylinder formula for surface area is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So you have 2, your radius in this is half that diameter, so instead of 14, we're going to divide the 14 by 2, which gives you the 7 meters. So you have pi times 7 meters squared plus 2 pi times 7 meters times my height of 2 meters. So we end up with 4 times 7, which is going to be, so 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 7 is 7, 14, 21, 28. 28 pi meters squared. Over here you have 49 times 2, which gives you 98 pi meters squared. We add 98 plus 828, gives me 126 pi meters squared. So 126 times pi gives you 395.8, which gives us 396. I'll try making that 9 a little bit more, 96 meters squared. And then again, your lateral area is that second half. So you do your 28 times pi, which gives you 88 meters squared. So next up we have a cube. So remember, with a cube, all the side lengths are the same. So to find the volume is what we're on now of a cube is a prism. So that's going to be volume equals base, area of the base times height. So if you need me to draw a little sketch, you can. If not, you can just know that it's going to be. So we know that this is going to be 11, and this is going to be 11, and that height's going to be 11. So area of your base is 11 times 11. So that's area of the base, which is 121. And then your height is 11. So that gives us 121 times 11, which gives you 1,331 meters. Let's write that with a little more space. Meters cubed. So again, we have a prism here. So that is going to be the volume formula B times H. So area of my base. So area of my base is going to be 6 centimeters times 9 centimeters. So 6 times 9 is 54 centimeters squared times my height of 3. So I plug it up here. We have 54 centimeters squared times 3 centimeters. So 54, let's do it again, 54 times 3 gives me 162 centimeters squared. Okay, next up, let me clear it. I'll scroll up. And then we have here a prism, but with it's a triangular prism. Triangles at our base. So we have the same formula, B times H, but the B here is the triangle formula, which is 1/2 base times height, which is going to be 1/2. My base here is 3. My height of that triangle is 4. You can see here it's the same 4 here, and then if we found that we know it's a Pythagorean triple, so this will be a 5, or you can do the Pythagorean theorem, 3 squared plus 4 squared, 9 plus 16, which is 25, square rooted, which is 5. But back to where we're at on this one, area of the base. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6 centimeters squared. And then that's our B, and our height of the whole figure, which joins your two faces together, is going to be that 6 centimeters. So we come up here, we end up with 6 centimeters squared times 6 centimeters, which gives us 36 centimeters cubed. And then we have a cylinder. So this again is volume of a cylinder, which is pi r h squared. Nope, pi r squared h. So let's put that 2 in the right spot. You know your radius is going to be half of that 6. So divide by 2, which gives you 3 centimeters. So we now have pi r, which is my 3 centimeters squared, times my h of 12 centimeters. That gives me 9 times 12 pi centimeters cubed. So 9 times 12 is 108 pi centimeters cubed times pi. 108 times pi gives me 339, so 339 centimeters cubed. And then if you remember from class, I told you do not have to do the last two. So those two are no. So good luck tomorrow on your test. Let me know if you have any questions.